The Let's Go Brandon freakout goes next level. A Southwest pilot earns ISIS comparisons for joking into a loudspeaker, as pundits continue to mass forget the previous 4 years. FBI special agent turned CNN political analyst Asha Rangappa, gosh, that resume sounds unsurprising, doesn't it? Tweeted this yesterday night. As an experiment, I'd love for an Southwest air pilot to say, "Long live ISIS," before taking off. My guess is that 1. The plane would be immediately grounded, 2. The pilot fired, and 3. A statement issued by the airline within a matter of hours. Put on your irony helmet, this is going to be a long ride. Rangappa was referencing a story involving a Southwest air pilot who became a headline by saying, "Let's go, Brandon," during a flight from Houston to Albuquerque. Sitting on that flight, incredibly, was an AP reporter named Colleen Long who was writing a piece entitled, "How Let's Go Brandon Became Code for Insulting Joe Biden." How did it happen? On October 2nd, at a NASCAR race at the Talladega Superspeedway in Alabama, a crowd broke into a chant of "Fuck Joe Biden" after 28-year-old Brandon Brown won a race. NBC reporter Kelly Stavist was interviewing Brown during the chants and quickly spoke over them, saying, "You can hear the chants from the crowd. Let's go, Brandon." The phrase has since become a war cry for people all over the country, being at once a burn on Biden, the anxious, airbrushing press, and the corporate conglomerates who are taking preemptive action to try to prevent such outbursts from ever again darkening America's door. NASCAR and NBC have since taken steps to limit ambient crowd noise during interviews, as the AP put it. Now FBI agent Rangappa has essentially declared, "Let's go, Brandon," the equivalent of an ISIS war cry. Supportive hand-wringing from press/NatSec colleagues, is there a difference, was instantaneous. Donald Trump tried to overthrow American democracy, and at least one Southwest Airlines pilot thinks that's just fine, cried HuffPo's SV Date. "Come fly the extremist skies," chimed in official #resistance mascot Aaron Rupar. Then there was Rangappa's fellow spook to CNN pipeliner, former Homeland Security official Juliette Kayyem. If at Southwest Air doesn't do anything, every passenger on that flight has standing to file a complaint with the @FAA News, and they should do so. Southwest will then be compelled to investigate or defend him. Have fun with that. No messing around in the air. Bright line rule. Is it really possible that these people don't get they're being trolled? Part of the joke of Let's Go Brandon, of course, is that you couldn't go 5 minutes during the last administration without hearing someone in pearls or a bow tie screaming, "Fuck Trump." I don't remember Rangappa pumping out Osama De Niro tweets after this celebrated Tony Awards appearance. The bigger part of the Let's Go Brandon gag is that such outbursts during the Trump years were not only not condemned, they were celebrated, as pundits and reporters for the first time told us directly profane insults of presidents were okay. Robert De Niro's comments at the Tony Awards go viral, with CNN's bemused take in a story quoting artist Ferrari Shepard saying, "Robert De Niro is my favorite rapper." Robert De Niro drops the F-bomb bashing Trump at the Tony Awards, was the headline over this USA Today account. Meanwhile, in the press room, Tony winners were surprised and amused by De Niro's comments, including Harry Potter and the Cursed Child director, John Tiffany, who entered the press room immediately after the incident. Did Al Pacino just say expletive Trump? Tiffany asked the press room, chuckling as the room corrected his mistake. It was Robert De Niro? That's even worse. Robert De Niro told the Tonys audience, "Fuck Trump." He got a standing ovation, was the Vox headline in a story that did include criticism of De Niro. Not for cursing out a president, but for overshadowing Angels in America winner Andrew Garfield, who referenced the Supreme Court same-sex wedding cake decision in his acceptance speech, calling for more understanding and empathy for the LGBTQ community. When Samantha Bee called Ivanka Trump a feckless cunt on TBS, she and the network did apologize, but the commentariat was far from unanimous in believing she should have. A New York column that referenced Chaucer, Marvel, Donne, and Shakespeare said of Bee, she should not have apologized. while Sally Field said B was wrong to use the word to describe Ivanka because cunts are beautiful, nurturing, and honest. The Daily Beast headline about the show was a visual high five, complete with a damn. Samantha Bee tears into feckless cunt Ivanka Trump. The full frontal host urged Trump's daughter to do something about her dad's immigration policies instead of posting cute photos with her son on Twitter. The official canonization of the F-bomb came when Jim Gaffigan, the least potty-mouthed comedian on the planet, entered into a profanity-laden Twitter rant last summer. I don't give a fuck if anyone thinks this is virtue signaling or whatever. We need to call Trump the con man and thief that he is. Pundits reacted as if Trump had inspired Beethoven to the Ninth Symphony or moved Gandhi to the Salt March. Why Jim Gaffigan, the world's nicest man, decided he'd finally had enough of Trump was the Forbes headline, in a piece that explained how remarkable it was that a man who literally opened for the Pope, a non-controversial, pasty-white Catholic father of 5, who admitted loving bacon, had been forced to drastic action by Trump. It was, Forbes said, a fourth wall experience, revealing a man who simply wants things to go back to normal. CNN added a solemn campaign think piece by Dean Obeidallah that said Gaffigan dropping his nice guy veneer was genuinely predictive, a bad omen for Trump's chances with the silent majority voter. Jim Gaffigan, arguably America's most wholesome comedian, has finally had enough of Donald Trump's shit, was Gizmodo's take. I personally don't have a problem with comedians flipping off presidents. In fact, I'm pretty sure that's part of their job description. But if you're going to imbue the presidentially directed F-bomb with holy significance under Trump, you should probably avoid wigging out over "Let's go Brandon." A huge part of the reason everyone is chanting it with such glee is precisely because it's not profanity, and sounds like the title of a Jim Gaffigan special. "Let's go Brandon" is supremely obvious humor bait, but prestige media types have been unable to avoid swallowing it. Biden's critics hurl increasingly vulgar taunts, complained the Washington Post, describing how Florida Congressman Bill Posey violated the decorum of the House with "Let's go Brandon." The vitriol has even entered the House chamber. Representative Bill Posey, Republican Florida, wrapped up a floor speech this week with the sign-off, "Let's go Brandon." Then, in a jarring return to House decorum, he concluded, "I yield back." The Post, it should be noted, rated De Niro's speech one of the hits of that year's Tony Awards. Others, like perpetual foot-in-mouth sufferer Sink Uyghur, are using hashtag LGB to shake their heads at Republican incivility. Sink Uyghur. Republicans use "Let's go Brandon" as euphemism for "fuck Joe Biden," and now they have hashtag "Let's go Brandon Day" trending. Republicans will then turn around and complain that Democrats are not civil enough to them, and the media will take them seriously, as if they're not all jackasses. This is the same Sink who moments ago was guffawing to a story about a woman in Texas who was selling "fuck Trump" bumper stickers and also had a message on her pickup trucks for those who voted for him. I like that she not only said F Trump, but F you for voting for him, he chuckles. That lady's got some balls on her. There are other approving TYT stories on the same theme, like anti-Trump chants trigger President Snowflake, about an exactly analogous story to the Talladega scene when American expats in France sandbagged a Fox broadcast about the World Cup with chants of "fuck Trump." I don't exactly have standing to get moral about F-bombing any politician, but if mainstream mouthpieces can't see how this looks to middle America, people getting seriously compared to terrorists for ironic G-rated versions of the same rant that had pundits lining up to send Jim Gaffigan to Oslo, they're dumber than I thought. Thank you for listening to the audio version of this article. Find more at taibbi.substack.com.